Bandidos! Season 8 is now live and we got lots to do. Today we're going to do a Camp White Oak speed run and a little bit of the zoo and discuss the realities of the overpowered builds we're using to do this. Cassie Mendoza also had a good weekly reset, so we're gonna squeeze that in as well as some recommended buys and build ideas too. Let's go! Now.
Accepted, division. This is a war you can't win.
Sweet dreams are made of this.
What's up? Welcome to the live stream, everybody, and especially those coming over from the premiere. We just put out a new video, which was actually a build recap video from a live stream we did the other day. It was a max armor on kill build video, a really good one. You should definitely check that out. The link to it is also in the description area of this video. Anyways, we got a lot to do today. It's actually a pretty good day. First of all, it's day 2 of season 8 or season 2 or 2.3, whatever you want to call it, but we're already in the thick of it, Bandidos. So yesterday we did some speed running as well as a recap on what to expect and what to get out of this current season. And today we're going to be doing more of the league speed runs as well, but we're also going to be talking about the builds that I use and how overpowered probably everybody's build is for what we're actually doing. And maybe we're gonna go over some build ideas on how you can actually be more efficient and make yourself actually more aggressive so that you can go faster by actually removing some of that power. That sounds counterintuitive, but I think it's a really good idea and we should talk about it. Also, Cassie Mendoza has a really good weekly reset and I got some really good build ideas and recommended buys for you, so we're gonna squeeze that in as well. But before we get too far ahead of ourselves, let's just make sure I'm coming in loud and clear. So if I can get some hashtag Tux Lives, and I know you guys are already on top of it. Mr. Detective, what's up? As well as Randy Savage. Okay, so it does sound like I'm coming in loud and clear. Thank you, Destroyer of Words and Xander as well for backing it up, and Wellington Carlos. I appreciate that. Just make sure our sound quality is good for everybody. Also, first off, if you like what I do and you want to see more and support the community, this is how easy it is. All you gotta do is like this video right now. That really helps. It's simple. It's the easiest thing to do. And also, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, I'd really appreciate it if you joined us. And also turn on your notifications so that you get the latest and greatest videos popping up in your notifications so that you know when to join us live, because I will be doing season 8 daily coverage, both live and on demand, just like today. And so we're gonna be, as a matter of fact, I'm gonna be streaming all day. So not just today on YouTube, but later today I'm gonna be also streaming on Twitch, and I am covering different content on Twitch, but still Division 2. So I'm doing Division 2 live streaming on both YouTube and Twitch. Now we're still growing on Twitch, and I need my boys, my loyal boys and girls, I need your support over there on Twitch as well. So if you don't mind grabbing that Twitch link, you'll be seeing links in the feed as well in the description area of this live stream. If you don't mind grabbing that and heading over to Twitch and just hitting the follow button, I'd really appreciate that. And if you're willing to subscribe to me on Twitch, then you know you have all my blessings. So also, the other day I released the 434% no bleed Blackfire build, no bleed backfire build, no bleed blah 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 build, and so you need to check that one out. It's actually pretty cool. Now these have been done in the past, but they've never really worked, and this one actually worked, so it's worth that. Also, members of Tux's Players Club, listen up. You know who you are because you got those cool schools next to your name. I just dropped a new classified build. It's basically like, this build is basically like having unlimited unbreakable talent with no cooldowns. You have unlimited armor. It's actually better than unbreakable, right? So it's pretty cool. The link to it is in the description area of this video. And so this classified build is awesome because if you like that 511 build that I put out a while back where I was dared to do this 511 build, it's like that except better. And so when TU14 dropped, I figured that I could actually improve that on that build with some of the changes that the devs have given us. So look forward to that. And if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, classified builds are secret builds made just for Texas Players Club. These are extra builds I make as a thank you for supporting me and the channel and the cause. So if you want to tap into these secret builds and support the community and myself at the same time, it's easy. Just click the join link or button below this video or in the description area of this video. And lastly, hardcore members, don't forget your digital download and gamer music playlist awaits. You can find the link below in the description area or head over to my YouTube homepage. And at the top, there's a members only playlist and all of your goodies are in there. Okay, so thank you for letting me get that housekeeping out of the way. I appreciate that. Let's see who else is in the house. So we thank you, Wellington Carlos, for heading back over here, and Batmo Bike from the premiere. I appreciate that. Simon Taylor, what's up, brother? Xbox Legend is over here as well, and CMod Dibbler, A Tucker. All right, you guys all made it from the premiere. Appreciate that. Notion of Death, yo, what's up, Notion? And Jayco, what's up? So yeah, also, by the way, guys, the Tux clans are thriving in a time where unfortunately clans are dying. So it's just a big shift. It's a big shift. So we're consolidating clans from elsewhere, and the Tux clans are willing to help out. And like Jayco is one of the PlayStation Tux Clan commanders, so we are graced with his presence. So if you are interested in joining the Tux Clan and you happen to be on the PlayStation Network, then you got a commander right here. So just raise your hand, hit us up with an emoji or whatever, and let us know that you're interested, and you know they'll go about making arrangements or whatever. Also, you can head over to our Discord. That is a really important place to be. Discord is important because if you're really passionate about this game and you want to see it go beyond, then you need to head over to our Discord, because basically it augments your Division 2 experience, right? And also helps you group up and find really good people to play with, so you're not sitting at the steps of the Capitol building trying to matchmake for a half hour when you could just head over to Discord and say, who wants to roll with me? So it's also a good place to hook up with the clan members, also to join challenges with us as well. I know you guys are aware that I do the challenges. And then we also, if you're in Texas Players Club, we have a members only channel there as well. And that's a good place to chat it up with me. If you've got questions about builds, you want to pimp your build, and I can do that for you. So cool, you guys ready to get into the topic of the day? So we're going to be talking about the speed runs. All right, so yesterday we did a little bit of these, and so you guys know what I'm talking about, but if not, let me just quickly show you. So if not aware, the season's active, so congratulations. It's actually a lot of fun. I'm really excited, guys. I'm really excited. And so I love seasons, I really do. I don't mind the replays of seasons. Obviously I wish that we had new seasons, but I still make the most out of these, and I'm gonna help you guys make the most out of them as well. So right now, the task at hand is Termite League, okay? So that's where we're at. And then we're also been working on getting all of our double XP, and that was really easy to top out, as you can see. I mean, I hardly played, and I already got 20. Look at the top right there where it says level 20. So I've scratched off 20 levels off of the rewards season track, okay? I wasn't even trying. So this is just playing the league. And so that's what I'm saying. Like, all you got to do is play this game right now, and you're gonna get all of that double XP and all of those rewards. We got tons of rewards, guys. So all this double XP helped us reap those rewards faster. That's how I got those levels so fast, because we had the double XP, okay? And then second, okay, is we've been playing this league, right? These trials. Look, I got 39 out of 60 here. Okay, so let's click into this real quick. So as you can see, we've basically topped out all of these. I've actually been struggling with the Manny National Zoo, and it's not to build or anything. It's just like I got 20 minutes on this, right? And you got to get to 18, and those last 2 minutes are just really hard for me. And I know some of you guys have been able to accomplish that. And trust me, it's not my build, because I've used a couple of different builds, and it's just like these little things, you know what I mean? Part of it is like, I haven't played this map very much lately. I did back in the day, right? And you're talking about, it's like the difference between 20 minutes and 18 minutes or below is like a perfect run, like not making any mistakes, and all the NPCs are kind of like lining up for you. That's kind of what it is for me. So like sometimes what I find is like there's one NPC that's kind of hiding and I have to run around looking for him. And I was like, oh, there he is, you know, finally. You know, so it's little things like that. And that might only have taken like 15 seconds, but when it happens a couple of times, it just adds up to a couple of minutes by the time you get to the end of that long ass mission, right? It's really long, especially the last phase. Anyway, so I've struggled with this one, but we're gonna get it. But all the other ones, we got some really exciting times. So 12 minutes on bank headquarters. And I'm sure some of you guys have even done this faster. 11 minutes, but these are all first runs. So 11 minutes on the first run of that, 12 minutes on the first run of that, and then 10 minutes on the first run of that. So if I can do it, you can do it. And so the ones that were in close quarters, I used the blitz build. So for bank headquarters and federal emergency bunker, I used the blitz build. And then for Camp White Oak, I actually used a striker build, and we're gonna get into that. And Manny National Zoo, I've tried a few of them. So I tried a Mantis build, I tried the Blitz build, I tried a striker build, and a Negotiators build. And I'll tell you which one I liked at the best. Now, also we're gonna be working on these today. So the Hostiles Burned and SH, and then the skill kills. So yeah, we're gonna have a ton of fun working with these because these are gonna get us a ton of XP. And look, we gotta get like 500 kills here. So I wanna see how fast we can do that by being really efficient. And I think that, like, you know what build I'm thinking that might be really cool to run is the Aggravator build. You guys remember that one? The Aggravator build where it's basically a hybrid skill build using the Eclipse protocol that has 60% amplified damage. And I don't know if you remember, but the enemies died like really, really, really fast. So a lot of fun. So anyway, so that's what we're up to today. So we're gonna check out the gameplay on Camp White Oak and Manny National Zoo here. And so I'm gonna first show you the build real quick. Okay, this is the one that I decided to run. Let me head to chat here real quick. So the deal is this. Oh, I wanted to show you one more thing. Actually, I'm sorry. One more thing. So we got all those 20 rewards tracks, the double, really, right? So we got all the things on the top and the bottom, and hopefully you're getting all those too. You should be, without even having to buy the season pass, because I think that because for repeat season, devs should have opened that up to you. So that should be the case. But also what I wanted to show you was on the event that's going on right now, the league event, there's also a rewards track. And so you should be getting those as you progress as well. So, oops, I got the wrong one. Always click the wrong button. Always do that in this menu. So here, so as you can see, we've unlocked all of these as well. And just a little trick, a little tip is like I actually don't claim them until like the last minute, and so you're not gonna lose these guys, so don't claim them, okay? And so if you don't claim them, and by the time the event ends, what it's gonna do is put them in your mailbox, in your stash. So it'll automatically put them in there. You will not lose them. But by doing that, you don't fill up your character's inventory of caches, which is a thing. So, and so for me, I like to open all of mine at the same time so I can evaluate the quality, and I also open them for you guys so you can see the quality. But but as you can see, some have already come over from the rewards track, the main rewards track. So that's what all these are. So these legacy season caches are really valuable. Named item cache is valuable. All these legacy caches are valuable. These are opportunities to get some really cool stuff, right? So the season 2 ones, legacy caches, are going to be what's on the rewards track now, and then the legacy season caches are past rewards track items. So really cool stuff. So anyway, so that's a little tip to keep that going. But as you notice, you don't get proficiency caches during seasons, so it's kind of annoying. I wish we got both, to be honest with you, but we don't. So boo to that. Anyways, so here is the build. Okay. So this is the one that I decided. Now, I think primarily people have determined that Negotiators is really good for these speed runs. And there's no doubt that Negotiators is great for speed runs, okay? And I used it at the Manny National Zoo, and it was okay. But what we determined in yesterday's live stream is that really that it was the crits that was doing all the work and not Negotiator's dilemma. So here's the deal, okay, is that when you're playing at the recommended levels for the speed runs, and I was doing these solo, and we're gonna do them in group as well. We've come up with some challenges for these leagues, and so first I'm doing them solo standard, and then we're gonna do them as a group more difficult. Okay, do you understand what I'm saying? So like for a federal emergency bunker, if we go over there, just a quick example, when you look over at the bunker here, it says to recommend it on hard, right? And so that's actually going to be it was actually relatively easy. It probably took most of you like one try to do that, maybe two, right? So, but in a group, it's going to scale and be more difficult. So what I'm going to do next is do it in a group with challenges, in a challenge format on heroic difficulty, right? So that means things got to be way more in sync. You guys got to know what you're doing. Your build's got to be coordinated and whatever, right? And so that'll be a different stream. So I'll tell you what the challenges are in that stream. But what I've determined here is that the enemies are so weak when you're playing on hard, even on solo, compared to your builds, that negotiators wasn't even really working. It was really rare. I really rarely needed it. It was like maybe 5 to 10% of the time when I was using it in the Manny National Zoo was negotiators actually working. And the reason why is because the crits were so strong. Everybody was dying from the crits before negotiators had a chance to really even do the whole spreading damage thing. People were just dying. So you could clear 3 or 4 guys like almost on a single clip, right? So that's what we determined. It was like, yeah, and everybody kind of agreed to that in the stream, and it was a pretty big stream yesterday. So, you know, that's what's up with that. So after that stream, I thought about it, and I was like, okay, so negotiators might be a little overkill. So I tried this striker build instead, because I was like, okay, well, our idea is to kill faster. Faster than negotiators, but we don't need the whole multi-kill capability because they're dying so fast anyway. So why don't we just build on the fast time to kill and make it just a little bit faster without having to have the multi-kill by ramping up our RPMs and our whatever. So, and then I decided to just go ahead and go with the memento. So the idea with the memento is not to run around and pick up your trophies, okay? Just to grab the trophies in your path. All right, and it's sort of the bonus armor that's really helpful, as well as the little buffs and then the skill tier, so that you can get your Banshee pulse up as fast as possible, as well as get the most out of your decoy. So this is what I used up first. Now we're going to talk about it more, but let me just show you the details. So it's all critted out. Okay, so it's pretty basic. This is a pretty basic build. We're using the chest piece. Lots of crits here, right? And then all the other pieces have crits as well on the 4-piece. So by doing this, I'm just going back to the chest piece, we're getting 50% amplified damage, okay? So that's a lot of damage, and this ended up being overkill too, so we're going to talk about the adjustments that I recommend you make after this. And then I got crit damage mod here. And then for the gun, I ran strained. So this is a really high RPM weapon, so you're not maxing out strained, but I was okay with that. And so I had killer on it before, but I decided to just go with strained and play with the averages. Okay, so killer, you know, I just didn't want killer to time out and then lose. The problem is this, is that with killer, they die so fast that you need that first kill to proc killer, okay? And then the enemy dies so fast, you may or may not crit. Because they literally die so fast, like on 3 or 4 bullets. With killer, you have to kill them with the crit in order to get the crit damage on the rest of the enemies, but they may not die with the crit because they die so early. So what I decided was like, okay, so that might not be working, so let me take off killer and just put on strain, knowing at least I'm getting some crit damage on the ramp up that is applying to all the enemies, whether they die or not. So that was kind of the theory behind it. You can also go optimist. Optimist is probably even smarter. So, but either way, this works. So I'm just kind of a big crit head here, I guess. And then I got the 10% armor on kill, and then ammo regeneration, which is actually really important because you want to minimize how many times you're stopping at the ammo crate, right? So we got 53% crit chance. It was actually higher last night, so I just switched one of the mods. So, but this is fine because you got all the amplified damage. And then remember, we're picking up another 50% crit damage here, and then we got the memento trophies. And so this is 167% crit damage, okay? But keep in mind that we got all the power coming from the backpack, as well as the 50% amp damage. So it looks like we don't have a lot of damage, but we got a lot. You guys know Striker, and RPMs are king. So 10% armor on kill, and then we're gonna have 3% armor regen, which is helpful because we don't have a lot of time to heal up. And then these are my shields. Cool. So let's run the gameplay, show you how this build does. It's sort of ridiculous, and then also take your questions. I realize you've been dropping them, so in comments, questions and comments.
They'll move to extract them at the first sign of trouble, which they're about to get.
I like Camp White Oak, by the way. It's a ton of fun. I like that mission. I don't go out there enough. I just don't like riding helicopters and all that stuff. But just it's a time killer.
Copy that. You are clear to intercede.
Hey, Jayco reminds you, PlayStation Clan members, to make sure you check out the special event we have going on this week. And details are in the Discord, so check that out.
They weren't taking chances. We've got to press on. You're headed for a small dam just north of your position.
Oh, that's a good idea, Xbox Legend, that you did your tasks in the summit. Yeah, it's a good idea.
Godspeed.
Because then you just encounter all those enemies really quickly. I mean, control points aren't bad on heroic. Because I don't know, how many enemies do you think you fight in a control point on average? Like 60? 50? Probably about 50, right? No should have death. Cleared Camp White Oak yesterday in 12 minutes. I think that's basically what I got here, actually. Oh no, 10 minutes. 10 minutes. So yeah, this is Striker, so it shreds. Shreds really well. So the challenge is always finding the enemies, right? And so I wonder, I mean, I got a pretty good idea of how this map works. You know, I've played it frequently enough, or remember at least. The challenge is it's dark and the Tusks kind of are wearing all black, so that makes it a little bit difficult. And so the scanner pulse is probably a really good idea. Somebody mentioned that in yesterday's live stream, so you might think about running that. I think it would actually improve your time a lot, to be honest with you. Because the parts that I slowed down is because there's this one enemy that got behind me or I can't find him. You know what I mean? And then I end up losing like 15, 20 seconds trying to find him. So I think the scanner pulse is really smart. Now I'm using the decoy just to avoid damage because I don't have a ton of armor on kill. I only have 10%. So that's kind of the thought behind that. And sometimes you come across turrets and chungas and stuff like that that really can't kill you. And so throw like right here, right? And so having the decoy, like as you can see, I'm taking a lot of suppressing fire. So throwing that decoy out really does help. It allows me to now run and gun, which is pretty important to speedrunning this. Yeah, so it's sort of a toss-up, you know? Does having the decoy make you go faster because it takes the aggro? Or does the scanner pulse, you know? I mean, if you're running in a team, obviously having both is going to be clutch, I think. Gonna be the way to go. Firm. So Firm, you're not alone. Firm says, I'm having an issue getting through the zoo in time. I did it in 19 minutes. Wanted to try a Lady Death build just to run a bit faster after kills. That's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea. You kind of switch it up. But the problem is that Firm, like I'm having the same issue, Firm. Like you did better than me, man. I'm at 20 minutes right now on the zoo. It's horrible in there. And yesterday I was talking to some guys that did it in like 16, 17 minutes. Somebody might have even said they did it faster. The Bambo Bike, no, I'm running the C-Tar, so same gun as the Rail Splitter, but it's the C-Tar I'm running. I actually put Strained on it. I put Strained. I usually run it with, so if I'm not running the Rail Splitter, I usually run the C-Tar with Killer. I really like Killer, but with this, the enemies were dying so fast that I felt like Strained, even though I have a high RPM and I'm not getting the most out of Strained, so I think it topped out. So right there, I topped out at 5 because he was a fat boy. But with the rest of these guys, they're dying on a 1, you know, the timer on the gun. So I just felt like Killer wasn't working because the enemies die so fast. You may or may not crit on them in that first 3 bullets because it takes them only a couple bullets to die. And then you only got 10 seconds, and then the thing times out even if you do, and then all the enemies all die so fast. So I just felt like I'm just gonna go ahead and go with Strained, even though it's not the best for really fast weapons like this one. But I'm sort of just playing the averages, and I'm just like, well, I'd rather have some crits than none, so to speak. But Optimus is probably the smarter move, so you might want to go that way. Listen to this. Listen to this. Listen. They changed the audio effects on the dogs. So we'll come across another one, but listen to the warhounds. They changed the audio effects. Did anybody else notice that? Did anybody else notice that when they were playing this? The audio, the sound effects for the dogs when they die, when they explode, they changed the audio on it. It's actually a lot cooler. It's like a higher pitch. It goes zzz, like that kind of. It's pretty cool. So we're gonna come across this dog. Listen to this dog blow up. Let me turn off the music. Did you hear that? It's pretty cool. I think there'll be another dog that comes out of this room here. Yeah, here it is. Here's another one. Listen to the dog. Oh, that one was harder to tell. But anybody else notice that? Or is it just me? I don't think it's just me. I mean, I don't know if it's just a submission and it just kind of came out. Maybe it came out funny or whatever, but I haven't played any of the Black Tusk mission, so, you know, because all the other ones are like, you know, basically outcasts, right? I'm not going to do it again, Randy Savage. No way. Oh, you noticed too, Jaco. Okay, Jaco knows what I'm talking about. Good. So, okay, I'm not alone. I wasn't sure if it was like, you know, maybe some sort of weird audio glitch or whatever. So, also, is anybody else having trouble with the Manny National Zoo and that they feel like it's kind of glitching, like in a, like it, almost like there's a lag type of glitch? Like you kill the enemy and they kind of like, they're alive for like a split second, even though they're dead, and then they fall really quick. I was having trouble, especially with the entrance, where it was just like I was hearing the enemies, but they were like invisible. Also, and so I'd be running in circles trying to find them, going, "Where is that enemy at?" And then all of a sudden, he just kind of appears. I don't know. So, but also there was just like moments of enemy lagging in that game, and it was causing me to like miss a couple of bullets here and there, which is kind of like. Which is only like a lost like 1 second in time, but probably by the end of the game it added up to a good minute, I'm sure. But fast hands is a good one, huh, Wellington? For faster reloads, or accuracy and stability, is that what you mean? Isn't that what it gives? Quiet Doom, what's going on, brother? Welcome. We're at Camp White Oak right now. So Xander, they do give you a choice to run it on hard or heroic. Am I wrong there, guys? Am I wrong? So Xander's question is, wish they give you a choice to run them on hard or heroic. Isn't it hard or higher? Isn't that how it works? Isn't it or higher? Or am I getting that confused with one of the other events? Can somebody confirm that? So if you were doing your leagues for the first time, and you went to like Camp White Oak, you could select, can't you select to do it on heroic and still get the time credit for it? Or is it only on hard? It might only be on hard. I thought it was like you can do it on heroic anyways if you wanted to. And still, you know, the timer still comes up and all that. You have to run the difficulty that's recommended, huh? So it's not even a choice. That does kind of suck. Because the timer is nice, you know what I mean? So, okay, I will have to keep that in mind when I do the challenges. Because when I do the challenges, we're going to do them on heroic difficulty. But, so I'll just have to run a timer outside of the, what the game offers, obviously, because it won't be showing up. You can always use your iPhone or whatever, but I got an on-screen timer that I can use so you guys can see when I stream it. Oh, yeah, okay, well, that's a fast reload time. Gotcha. So there it is. So that was about 10 minutes, I think. I do want purple loot, Batmo Bike. I do want purple loot, actually. So I want to do an all purple build, actually, for you guys. And I just don't have any good purple gear. But I do, you know, my stash is always full. So there's that. That'd be the issue. Oh, Mr. Tanger, that's a good idea. Change the world to hard before doing a mission. That's actually a good idea. That's an easy tip. So that's the build. Okay, we're going to head over to the zoo real quick as well. But I'm just going to show you the time here real quick before we do that. So somebody had a question there. Where did it go? Oh, there it is. Entrenched is, I think it is considered armor on kill, right? So, Quiet Doom asks if entrenched is considered armor on kill. It is. It's just situational armor on kill. I'm gonna go read it here. So here's the one I'm struggling on, guys. So yesterday, my best time was 21 minutes. This run's gonna be faster, but not by a heck of a lot. And so we're still running the same. We're still running Striker, but I changed a couple of things. Now, I'll actually show you what those changes are in a minute, because I realized doing on Camp White Oak we're too strong, in that we're not using all of that damage. So we're literally not using it, and so I'm kind of testing out new things for recommendations. But okay, I'm looking for that chest talent. Give me a second. No, it's not armor on kill. Okay, it's not. It's repair. It's repair. Quiet Doom. So, Quiet Doom's question, is entrenched considered armor on kill? No, because there's no kill required. So, if you're below 30% armor, headshots from cover repair 20% of your armor. Cooldown every 3 seconds. It's actually a really short cooldown.
Vital signs critical.
That's actually a really good talent. The other thing is you got to find what it's going to synergize with. You know what I mean? And so it's a good talent because the cooldown is only 3 seconds. And believe it or not, like for really fast-paced builds like what we're doing now, you know, you don't need to worry about being at full armor, right? You just need enough armor to keep you aggressive. And Entrenched pulls you all the way up to 30% armor. And all you got to do is land a headshot, which we're doing all the time, especially with the CTAR. The problem is that you got to be from cover. So that's the challenge. So for running and gunning, it's not super helpful, because then you have to stop, get in cover, shoot the head, and so on. So, you know, so I think about that. Now, you wouldn't want to run it with Clutch, although it sounds interesting. It's just that because Clutch does the same thing without requiring a headshot. So Clutch is better because you can be out of cover and use Clutch and get 20% armor just by critting with no kill required also. So it's sort of the same thing. So while this gameplay, yeah, well, that's a really good question. Yeah, I'm planning on using some talents like leadership and entrench, because they are actually really good talents and we all overlook them a lot. I'm changing the build so that we can show you what I ran for this. Yeah. Just a couple of minor tweaks, and I would still consider making even more tweaks, actually. See, like here, there's always one enemy that gets behind me here. There's always one that like gets into the center, and then I have to go back for her. Thank God the CTAR's a laser beam, though. That really helps at reaching enemies at a distance. Yeah, leadership plus ninja bike. Yeah, that's a good idea. The only thing I don't like about leadership, because I think that it has like a really long cooldown on it, right? And which is kind of annoying. Because for what it is, it's like they shouldn't have a cooldown on that. I was like, it's cover to cover. They should just make it unlimited. You know what I mean? Because it's not that exciting of a talent. Why did they do that to us? And then you got so many better ones too. You know, that's the one they need to make, because like you can. I mean, the good thing is it gives it to your allies as well. So there's that, you know. But you also have galvanized, right? So if you could pull that off, it's even better. It gives them more armor, and there's no cooldown. So yeah, leadership's got a 10-second cooldown. Now that's not forever. I realize 10 seconds, you know, happens really fast, but it's just that if you didn't have that cooldown, you could stack it, and that'd make it more interesting. I don't miss the pulse. I don't remember the pulse. What did the pulse do? Like, did it pulse the enemies when you landed in cover? Is that what it did? God, I don't remember. I didn't remember that being a thing.
Head there now. Everybody else, fall back to the areas to make sure no one gets through.
Gaming magic? Yeah, Police M4 is amazing. I mean, I like the carbine. A lot of people love the carbine. You know, I think the carbine's okay. It's kind of a middle of the road one, so it doesn't really wow me, but a lot of people really like it. I did go through a phase where I used it back in the day. But Police Magic, I like the Police M4 for sure. The C-Tar is my favorite just because that extra 50 RPM, just I love it. I feel like it's a laser beam. It shows on paper that the Police M4 has better handling, but I don't feel that. I actually feel like the C-Tar's got better handling, but that might just be an RPM thing. Also, the other benefit that the Police M4 has is you can actually run a 30x scope where the C-Tar can't. So technically, that's a major advantage, Police M4. But yeah, totally, man. Police M4 is absolutely amazing. I actually use it for legendaries a lot. No, Mr. Tangri, I got what you were saying. Totally makes sense. Yeah, thanks for clarifying, though. So he's talking about, you know, changing. If you change your entire world to hard, it changes the AI behavior before going into the mission, like in general. And then when you go into the mission, it doesn't have this overlapping AI behavior between heroic and hard difficulty. I've heard that before. I've never really tested it myself. I'm just gonna go with it. Waxy device. I showed you the light. So this is the first time I do time trials. Actually, believe it or not, I've avoided these in all the seasons before, and so I'm kind of been more excited about speedruns lately. As you guys know, I've been covering the legendary speedruns and stuff like that. So, and I'll be doing those myself as well. But with the league time trial stuff, I've always kind of skipped them. I mean, back in the day I did them. But then, like for all the reruns especially, I skipped them, all the season reruns, because I just don't like doing missions, so it was kind of a drag. And then especially do the mission on an easy difficulty, you know, because I really like getting loot, right? And obviously the loot that drops in easy difficulty is just crap. So it just really wasn't motivating to do, but I do want the rewards tracks off of these. I really need the resources, so that's partly why I'm doing it. Also, getting into the speedrun thing is a lot of fun for me. It's a challenge. But yeah, no, I used to skip these all the time. Oh yeah, the other thing is I hate doing missions. Like I like open world stuff because there's so much more dynamic. The gameplay is so much more dynamic, right? And so, but some of these missions are like, oh my god, it's just so painful for me to play some. Like the zoo sucks, right? Like I hate playing the zoo. Camp White Oak wasn't so bad, but like DCD headquarters, like there's just some missions that are just like are so painful for me. Like they were fun in the beginning, don't get me wrong, but it's just like there's some missions I just can't play over and over again. Legendary, okay, you know, totally. Just because it's difficult enough to make it interesting to play over and over again, but. Maxim Naden says the police M4 pulls to the right like the FAMAS. Yeah, the FAMAS is all over the place for me. Like, I feel like the best FAMAS to run is the Burnout because it really needs it. But some people are good with the FAMAS. I've never really liked it besides the Burnout version. I did like it with Measured though. I have run it with Measured. I actually like the FAMAS with Measured. That's a lot of fun. But yeah, it pulls to the right, the police M4. Yeah, I trust that. I mean, it just definitely doesn't feel as accurate as the CTAR, but if you compare them, it shows that it's more accurate. Yeah, this is at 1,034 RPM. So, I changed the build, remember, so this isn't the same build I ran during Camp White Oak, but it's really hard to tell. I mean, the enemies are just dying so fast, right? Like, it doesn't even matter. We're killing 3 enemies in a mag, I think. Easy. So what sucks about this one is, like, your biggest threat are those exploding hugger dudes, right? And they get me from time to time, too. That's what sucks about going so fast. Going so fast, you accidentally run into those guys sometimes. You know, because you're trying to spawn kill, and then they sitting there coming out the door. So... the other thing that sucks too is like that fight when you're on fire. I don't mind being on fire, but it takes away your aim when you're on fire too, which also slows you down. So that's what caught me there. Six Atomic, yeah, I tried the Honey Badger. It was all right. You know, I don't have the Savage Wolverine yet. I think I just got to catch somebody on fire and salute them in the DARPA labs. Those are my 2 steps. And then I get the Savage Wolverine with Perfect Killer on it, which is the Honey Badger with Perfect Killer. So I'm excited to try that one, actually. I mean, it's only another 10% crit damage, which is basically like running a different assault rifle that has another mod, a better mod on it. But yeah, so it's down a mod, so that's a downside, you know what I mean? And it's kind of, again, one of the middle of the road assault rifles, which is why, you know, you either like that or you don't, you know what I mean? Like, so watch all these guys, I'm gonna die, they just die fast, right? Like, so that's a perfect example why Negotiators doesn't make any sense for this build. I mean, they die really fast. So yeah, so that's the thing. I mean, you either like the middle of the road, like the CTAR and the Police M4 are the extremes, right? Meaning like they're really fast. They got the lower side of the damage for assault rifles, but they're really fast and accurate, which makes up for it more than enough, right? Like the AKM is the strongest assault rifle in the game, right? And that would make the CTAR the weakest assault rifle in the game. But for me, the CTAR, I can clear content way faster with the CTAR because I land more shots and shove more bullets down the enemy's throat faster, which is the definition of DPS, a good DPS, right? So where the AKM hits harder, but you miss so many shots, it's like, who cares? You know what I mean? So even with the striker set, you miss too many shots. So, you know, so anyways, those are the extremes, right? And so the thing is like, if you're looking to wield something like accuracy and damage, or accuracy and RPMs, or are you looking to wield high damage and low RPMs, then you're gonna play towards the extremes of those. And if you blend the extremes by going with the middle of the road assault rifle, then do you feel powerful? Are you gonna like it, right? That's the question, because it might not be enough, right? Like 800 RPMs, I feel like 750 RPMs, like the capacitor doesn't feel fast to me, right? It doesn't. And the capacitor is somewhere around there, right? Somewhere between 700 and 800 RPMs, something like that. So it feels slow to me, right? And the CTAR feels fast, and that's how I like my guns. You know, I like them CTAR speed. 900 is perfect, you know. This is 1,000. Right now, we're over 1,000. This is 1,035. This is vector speeds, technically. But yeah, no, it's a good gun, so I don't have anything against it. I'm just saying, like, I guess it's just sort of like, it's just some of those middle-of-the-road assault rifles just don't feel like they have enough of whatever it is that I'm looking for. Because they're in the middle, you know? And so in order to feel the difference in power or speed, whatever you're going for, you sort of have to play towards the extremes or you just don't feel it. And it just feels like an average assault rifle because it is. And that's not a bad thing. If you want the best of both worlds, you're going to have to play in the average, right? So it just comes down to preference. But for me, I'm looking for... I'm sort of min-maxing on the speed thing here is basically what's going on. But I do like, I guess if I do run the Honey Badger, I do like running it with like Spotter. And then in sync. That's a fun way for me to run it. See, like right here, we're losing time, right? Probably lost about 20 seconds here. We used 20 seconds more than we needed. This is tough, guys, right? This is a tough mission. Is anybody else having trouble with this one? Like getting it below 18 minutes? I mean, it's tough. You know, I've made a couple of mistakes, which maybe lost 15 seconds here, 10 seconds there. So you're talking about like in order to get it below 18 minutes, you're talking about a absolute perfect run, you know? Like error-free, you know where every enemy is at all times and you kill all of them immediately. You know what I mean? And so it's just like, there's no room for error, I feel like, in order to get this below 18 minutes. And so if you did get it below 18 minutes, what build did you use? I'd be curious. You know, I know a lot of people have been defaulting to Negotiator's Dilemma. I did that. I did the Negotiator's Dilemma. That's what got me that 21 minutes. See that personal best? Negotiator's Dilemma got me 21 minutes. Striker got me faster. So I didn't feel like Negotiator's Dilemma was necessarily the way to go. It didn't add anything. It was really rare I was actually using the Negotiator talent, the spread to kill thing. Yeah, Randy Savage with the running strikers with the burnout is like running strikers with the rail splitter. It's kind of the same concept there. So yeah, that totally makes sense to me. You call them Splody Boys? Randy Savage, we call them huggers. Because they're running at you with their arms out like they want to hug you. The Exploding Boys. Hey, Tucker, what build did you run in Camp White Oak? Did you run Negotiators also? Elock 909, good to see you back, brother. Yeah, so, yeah, if you've done Camp White Oak in less than 18 minutes, let me know in the chat. Because I got questions for you. Because, I mean, part of it is I know I don't play this mission a lot, but I'm sure you guys don't play it a ton either, right? But, like here, I mean, it takes a solid, oh, like in the end here, in this place, is it always the same? Are the spawn points always the same? Or is there a randomness to the spawns? Because I haven't played it enough to know if there's a randomness or not. You know what I mean? Like I'm coming to this door thinking they're going to come out of it, but they don't, right? They end up coming out of the other side. And I'm trying to catch the pattern. And so I feel like sometimes they come through that door, sometimes they come from down below, and it seems to be a random generator that assigns that door, or am I not catching it correctly? So that's one of the questions, you know. But so my time isn't horrible, but I feel like, God, to shave 2 minutes, and I ran a really good run here, and I still need to shave 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Is like, really? It's technically 2:30. I need to shave off, and so that's like, what? Like, where am I gonna find 2 minutes and 30 seconds in this thing? It's not like, that's like a lot of time that I gotta shave. And I was going fast. We're killing fast, right? And so where am I gonna find another 2 minutes and 30 seconds? So that's why I'm wondering, like, what builds are you guys running? And I feel like a lot of you can say negotiators, and that's sort of disappointing for me, because I know that's not the difference between getting 18 minutes and 20 minutes, because I did it with negotiators and that gave me 21 minutes. So maybe, yeah, so maybe that's the difference. Maybe it's like the only way to beat that time is in group. Maybe I need a second. So like when we get to the field in the middle of this one, maybe it's so wide open that you need a group so that you can kill them faster. Somebody cover the left and you cover the right. You know, that would obviously help, because then you spawn trap. But look, you know, it's just like, just jogging from A to B just takes time. And it's just like, a lot of this is just running, you know. Montel, what's going on, bro? So you guys use 2 Hunter's Fury, huh, Jaco? Yeah. I started with Hunter's Fury when I first did this, but I felt like it was too much running to track them down. So, but obviously if you got more than one guy, then it just totally makes sense. But if you're solo, then the problem was that I couldn't guard all the entrances, so that's why it totally makes sense if you're in a group, because then you each run to an entrance to spawn kill it, and then you got all your points of access covered. So I get it for that situation. But solo, you can't cover enough ground. So then I tried negotiators and got 21 minutes, but I realized negotiators wasn't even really working. It was just crit damage that we were using. Then that's when I went to striker. No, I hear you about the Lady Death dispatch. The only thing is that the Lady Death doesn't have the reach that the CTAR has, and it requires a lot of reloading. And so, like, there's a lot of wide open spaces that are the challenging. Like, so the wide open space, like in the middle of the zoo, it's wide open, and then they're coming from like 3 or 4 different directions, and you can't be at all places at one time. So you have to wait for them to come to you. I did try chasing them down, you know, like trying to run to one, you know, where they jump down and from above down into the grass. And that just didn't, you know, you can't be everywhere at once. And if you chase them down, then somebody can get behind you and destroy the server that you're trying to protect. So it was just like, okay, so the best thing to do is to hang back and then have a gun that has long reach. So yeah, I mean, I could use the Lady Death, except for that one part. You know, that might be a good strategy. To what you're saying. Wellington, I haven't tried the status effect. I mean, my theory is running solo and using the status effect with like the biomask would be too slow to kill them. You know what I mean? And so, and even your pulse still wouldn't reach a wide area like that, wide enough. It still wouldn't be wide enough. But that's just my theory. I don't know. Oh, cool, Montel. Appreciate you checking out that new DPS video, man. Yeah, I might have played Dilemma wrong. I'm pretty sure I'm pretty good with my Dilemma build, though, Black Point. You know, I do my legendaries pretty quickly. The problem is that, I mean, how do you win your Black Point? You obviously had to adjust because we are playing on a hard and challenging difficulty, right? So the problem with all what I wanted to talk to you guys about also is that all these builds are overpowered, right? So, okay, so we already showed the first build, right, for Camp White Oak. And so for Camp White Oak, I was running the Memento backpack and the Striker's chest. So this is exactly what I'm talking about, like, to Black Point and everybody, is that, like, so if you notice in that gameplay, like, on Camp White Oak, for example, it's like, so if we run the chest piece, what I realized is that you got 100 stacks, right, which is 50% amplified damage, but you're killing the enemies so fast, you're not maxing out your stacks whatsoever. So basically, you got waste on the chest, right? A lot of waste. And it's not about, well, you're strong, you're strong, you're strong. Totally, you're strong, you're strong, you're strong. But like, the point is that, okay, well, but if you got all that waste and whatever, can you add something there to go even faster, right? And so that was a problem with Negotiators, is that Negotiators wasn't working at all. If you pay attention to your own gameplay footage when you're playing on hard or challenging difficulty with Negotiators, that you're not, yes, you can tag one enemy and then shoot the other two, but the first enemy you tagged, he died off of the first 3 bullets of your mag, so you didn't even get a chance to tag him and move on. It was really rare that you did. It was only when you came across like a big chunga or something like that where you could actually use Negotiators, but they were just all dying so fastly. Instead of tagging and then tagging 2 more guys and then focus firing on that 3rd guy, you might as well just kill, because that's how fast they literally die. As fast as it's coming out of my mouth, kill. You know, that's as fast as they died. There's no tagging. Nobody was being tagged, right? They were falling over like a deck of cards. And so Negotiators didn't make any sense. So what I realized, it was like, oh, that's not the Negotiators' talent doing anything. All it was crit damage and crit chance. That's all it was that's happening on your Negotiators build. Watch your own gameplay footage. Now you'll notice, and there's 1 or 2 parts where Negotiators work. I agree. There's 1 or 2 parts Negotiators work. Not enough to save 3 minutes or 5 minutes off of your run, though. You know what I mean? And so I realized that with Negotiators, and the whole stream did. And so then I moved to Strikers on Camp White Oak, right? So, which worked, but it was the same issue, which is like, so it was kind of like all RPMs and some amp damage and crits, of course, but it was still overpowered. So we weren't using all of the chest piece. And then so I decided to get rid of the chest piece, and kind of same theory on the Memento backpack, got rid of that so I didn't have to worry about the trophies. And so what I was thinking was, so and that run you just saw with 20 minutes, I used this chest piece instead, right? So I was running Obliterate so that we had that 25% weapon damage, instead of the amplified, the extra 25% amplified damage. So obviously amplified damage is more, but we weren't even using it. We weren't even getting there because the enemies, again, were just dying too fast. Our problem is, okay, this is the problem. This is, make sure we understand the problem, okay? And you guys might not have noticed this, okay? So, like, you might not have noticed this. So, like, your build, when you're running on hard, your build, the enemies are too squishy. That's the best way to put it. The enemies are really, really, really weak, you know? So this is what I noticed. So like when we were using the, so the Blitz build, you guys know the Blitz build where I use the M870 Hunter's Fury, and it's like really strong. It's strong enough to, with the Blitz build, it's strong enough to speedrun Legendary. Everybody agree? You can speedrun Legendary with the Blitz build, the M870 Hunter's Fury headshot build, right? You can speedrun Legendaries with that. That's what the pros use, right? But when you take that into a hard mission, it's overkill, right? It's really overkill. You literally have too much damage. And that's crazy to say, but you have too much damage. So, you have to do something about that. Now, like if you're in a group, it's different. Anything works in a group, right? Anything works in a group. The reason why group is different when you're running these in groups is because you got all you need. It doesn't matter if you're overpowered or not. You just need coverage, ground coverage, right? So Black Point, really good time, 7 minutes and 55 seconds. But it sounds like you ran it in a group. So kudos to you and your group. You guys did a really good job, actually. That's a really impressive time. No doubt, no doubt. But it's just different than what we're talking about today, because you can run whatever with the group. You could run a pistol build, just a Regulus, all the way through the group, right? Just all the way through the mission. Whatever you want. The reason why it's different with the group is because you got coverage, you got ground coverage, right? And you got spawn point coverage. So, and that's why, like when you're running this, like a speedrun Legendary, for example, it's about coverage and the build. So they would all run to a spawn door, stand in front of the door opened, they'd pull out the Regulus and shoot them all in the head, everybody dies. They'd move on to the next checkpoint. It was literally that fast, right? Or use their shotgun and kill everybody and then move on to the checkpoint. So the difference there, you can't use the Hunter's Fury build solo in Legendary speedruns, if you didn't notice that, because you don't have the coverage. You'd have to be at all places at one time. You can't be at 2 doors at the same time, right? So you'll notice that you can use the Hunter's Fury Blitz build, the Shotgun Headhunter build, the Blitz build, when you solo Legendary, but only in certain checkpoints, not through the whole gameplay. Now, when you run it in speedruns with a group, you can use Hunter's Fury all the way through with your shotgun. But if you notice, they do flip to Negotiator's Dilemma a lot of the times when they're running solo, because they can't be in all places at one time, but Negotiators can, right? So that's the challenge. When it's actually, I feel like Camp White Oak, the Manny National Zoo, the challenge is running it solo. I think running it in a group, you'll be able to achieve your 18 minutes probably pretty easy, maybe 1 or 2 tries, right? But the real problem is that the enemies are too squishy and you have to be in all places at all times. So I think, and I haven't fully tested this out, and I'll do this for you guys later, but like what I think we need to do, believe it or not, this sounds absolutely crazy, this is just a theory and I could be totally wrong here, is that I think what you got to do is actually have like a ton of bonus armor and then armor on kill. And by doing that, you can be more aggressive and not have to bounce and cover. So I'm not playing in cover for a lot. You can see that in the gameplay footage. But I had to bounce and cover a couple of times because I started taking too much damage and I didn't want to die, right? And I only got 10% armor on kill. But and so that's why in that last run that you saw me do, I switched to clutch on the backpack. And it was actually kicking in a lot. So that way I could play out of cover more and take damage and be okay with it. And so I'd get my 20% armor on crit back really fast, right? And then as soon as I killed him, I got the 10% armor on kill. So I was basically, excuse my language, but I was basically getting 30% armor on kill because of this. And that's because the enemies were dying. And so, because you're able to complete the crits with the kill. So you'd come across a tanky like the heavy gunners or a boss, right? And he'd drop your armor, and I'd get it back because I was critting on him, so I'd get 20% back, which is a very comfortable place to be. And then I'd kill him, and I'd get that other 10% armor on kill, and then rinse and repeat. And so the clutch actually worked really well with this build to be able to speedrun, so I'm happy with that. But I think you could probably go like adrenaline rush to work the same concept, but then you'd have to add armor, you know what I mean? So that's sort of why I chose clutch. But having some sort of bonus armor is like not a bad thing. I even thought about the bonus armor on reload one, because we don't need damage. I don't need damage. What I need is to be out of cover and running between A and B faster without having to worry about taking too much damage and then slowing down to like armor kit up or whatever, right? And I'm not talking about group play. I'm talking about solo Manny National Zoo, right? So group play, go Negotiators, go Hunter's Fury. I'd probably run both. Like have one guy do Negotiators, one guy do Hunter's Fury, or both run Negotiators, or even both run Hunter's Fury and one Eclipse build, whatever you want to do. You got combos that you're there. You could probably all run Regulus builds and have an absolute blast and probably crush it. You know what I mean? So I'm not talking about group play. I'm talking about solo. How can you be at all places at all times? How can you improve your speed, right? Now, I tried Negotiators. My Striker build was faster, you know, and I'm pretty good with my Negotiators build. So, you know, it's just like, so that wasn't the problem. It was, you can't tag the enemies, you know, and they all died by the time I tagged them anyways. So it was mostly about there's like certain points where you can't shoot right and then shoot left because they were so spread out. You might as well stay right, kill them all, then go left. You know what I mean? So it was just like, yeah, I don't know. I haven't really completely wrapped my brain around it yet, but so yeah, I'm really interested in somebody, let me just clarify, who's run solo and has dropped below 18 minutes. What was your strategy to shave it below 18 minutes? Pretty curious on that. Has anybody, so let me repeat the question. Has anybody done Manny National Zoo solo sub 18 minutes? And so Dispatcher's idea is good. So I like Dispatcher's idea. It makes sense. It's logical. And so I'm just kind of thinking through it. Like, I'm totally not against it. Like, the Lady Death just makes sense. That would actually might solve my problem. I might need movement speed. You know what I mean? I might need movement speed. But it still doesn't cover multiple doors. but it allows you to get, run and gun faster, basically, stay out of cover. But I'm thinking that I almost need like Lady Death and bonus armor, and then like probably not, maybe Intimidate. I don't know if I'm gonna be that close, because man, Manny National Zoo, they kind of spread out. They spread out really quickly on you. You know what I mean? They die easily, but you spend most of your time trying to find them. So that's why Negotiators doesn't help, because you're trying to find them. and so if you can't find them, you can't crit and flag them with Negotiators. Now, if you're running a group, you don't need to find them, because you go to door A, I go to door B, we get them right when they come out. But since I'm only one person, I can only go to door A, and that leaves door B open, and they're coming out at the same time. So anyways, interesting challenge. I love the challenge. And so I'm just curious, and I'll probably figure it out, but curious on how you guys are running it, if you were able to do Manny National Zoo solo. So anyways, this was the last way I did it. And so what I'm thinking is it's like, okay, well, I'm even thinking about putting on like glass cannon with clutch, okay, and then throwing on some like or glass cannon with adrenaline rush is the other way to go. That's what I'm trying to say. So put on adrenaline rush, get a ton of bonus armor so that you could just run, face tank, not worry about your armor going down. So you're gonna have to run a couple of armor cores, but we don't care because glass cannon is gonna make up for that. And you got so much burst damage in this build that you absolutely are not worried about damage. Damage is not your issue here. They're dying in microseconds. You know what I mean? So it's not a damage issue. So yeah, that's a good option, Wellington Carlos. And so I'm thinking about that too, but I'm not to sound like a negative Nancy here, but I'm just thinking about, well, the problem isn't, the problem with Hunter's Fury is you got to play in so close. My biggest advantage with the Striker build, and the reason why it worked really well, obviously not well enough because I still need to shave 2 minutes, and is that it allowed me to be, if I'm standing here, it allowed me to be way over there because it had such good accuracy and range that I could kill at amazing distances. I think maybe like 80 meters or something, whatever. I was shooting across that field. As I was running down that field, when I dropped in the middle of the Manny National Zoo, there's that big field. That's like one of the more difficult areas because the enemies are so spread out. But I could reach the enemies from so far away. That was a big advantage, and the Lady Death is going to take away from that. I did try the running and gunning tactic in that area, and that was worse. That was worse because then they really get all over the place because you can't be at all places at one time. Striker helps you be at more than one place at one time because it has such long reach, And given that, Negotiators would do the same thing basically there. So Negotiators and Striker were really close to the same concept. They were both just working off of speed and power, right? And so I would say that my results with Negotiators Dilemma and Striker were about the same. So I took off power to put on Striker, right? I took off Vigilance to put on power, and then I took off Vigilance to put on clutch, and then I took off Glass Cannon to put on Obliterate, and I actually beat my Negotiators time. So, but it wasn't by much, so I would call it a wash, you know what I mean? So it was a kind of a wash, and I tried snipers and I tried shotguns. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe it is an SMG, but I just think about those situations where they're really far out, and maybe I just switch to an assault rifle in those steps, but wow, that's interesting, Dispatch. So he was solo? I'm assuming you're saying he's solo? What up, Paul? What's going on, Mr. 306? Good to see you, Bill. A guy did it sub 18 minutes using status effects, knowing all the spawn points and basically running. Was he, do you know what status effects he was using? I'm sure he was using the Eclipse, but was he using the Bile and the Pulse? I'm guessing. He's using the jammer pulse, damaging them with that. And then what, the riot foam or the fire? Fire's really annoying, right? Because they roll out of it a lot, I feel like. So I'm just not a fan of the fire, but Glass cannon with Eclipse. Wow. That's probably a good way to go. Then you got 60%. Yeah, that's what I mentioned that when we first started. I mentioned that like maybe we run like the aggravator build. Remember where we had 60% amplified damage. So that's what glass cannon with Eclipse would give you. It would give you 60% amplified damage. You just have to be careful. You got to get the jump on them. You don't want to take any damage. You'll die really easily. But so yeah, so he was using the fire chem. I hate that part of it. I feel like the fire chem is kind of clunky. You know what I mean? I'm just bad with it. You guys are probably good with it, but I don't like the chems. You know, because like pulling it out, like the quick draw, there's no quick draw on it, so you kind of got to pull it out. You know what I mean? So yeah, he's probably good with this chem. I think that makes a world of a difference. I suck with the chems. I don't like them either, so that's why I suck, because I noticed little things like, oh, it's really slow. The chems are really slow. The enemies always roll out of it. But also just withdraw it. Like if you have your gun in your hand and you switch to your chem, it like takes an hour for your guy to whip it out. That's how it feels to me, right? But yeah, Caesar, I like that idea. That's what I'm saying. Like Caesar says, nerf your build, like having weapon handling with Striker and running Pestilence and armor on kill with Gunner, maybe. Totally. I mean, I'm not sure Pestilence would be good solo, but it totally makes good with the group. But I like the concept where you said, like, nerf your build. That's what I'm thinking. I think you need to nerf your build. It sounds counterintuitive, right? You're like, well, to go faster, you need to nerf your build. Well, yeah, because I'm thinking, like by putting on, like, something like Adrenaline Rush or even actually Bloodsucker, that bonus armor allows you to move more freely and take more damage and face tank more. And we're doing all of that already. It allows you to do it more. And maybe that more is the difference between shaving 2 minutes or not. So I love the way you thought about that, Caesar. Like, nerf your build. I totally, and we're talking about solo here, guys. So in a group, none of this is an issue. You just need to find your combination. Is it 2 Strikers and an Eclipse? Is it 3 Hunter's Furies? Is it 1 Mantis? 2, whatever. You can accomplish it with any of those combinations. The group, it's different. We're talking about solo. And I think when you're soloing Manny National Zoo, I think nerfing your build is one way to help you play more out of cover by putting on Adrenaline Rush. And then, you know, still using glass cannon on your chest or whatever. But the bonus armor, maybe it's Bloodsucker, right? So you can stack that bonus armor before you even get in close in distances. I don't know. Carlos Evans, you did it with the skill build? What kind of skill build? Are you talking about, Carlos, just to make sure, are you talking about Manny National Zoo solo? If you did, I'd love to hear the details about that. Like, what was your time? Did you get a sub 18 minutes particularly? Or at least 18 minutes? And then love to hear the details of your skill build. Okay, while Carlos is getting this up to Evan, I that might work with Lady Death, bro. We talked about that. That's actually might be a good idea. I haven't tried it with Lady Death. Now, I did try it with Hunter's Fury. I thought the problem with Hunter's Fury was that, you know, as a solo player, you're trying to be in all places at the same time, and it just doesn't work. And with assault rifles, it does work because you have longer reach. And so that's how you can be at all places at all times, is by reaching them with your bullets from farther away. But if you have to run there, if you have to run to door A, run to door B, run to door A, run to door B, it ends up just eating away a lot of time as you're chasing people down because you don't have the range on your weapon. So I felt like range was a big advantage in the zoo. But I haven't tried Lady Death, so we need to try it. So maybe we'll try it today and see what we can do. But okay, so that's the build that I ran. But either way, it's a work in progress. It doesn't really matter on any of these options that we're talking about. Strikers or Hunter's Fury or Negotiators, you're stronger than you need to be. That's the point. What do you do about that? That's the question of the day. What do you do about that if you're stronger than you need to be to shave 2 minutes off of your run? How do you shave 2 minutes on your run if you're stronger than you need to be? That's an interesting question if you think about it, because it's a rare problem we have. So it's a really rare problem. We do not run into that issue. That's rare in this game, to be stronger than you need to be. Now, it's rare for me because I never play in hard and challenging anymore, right? Now, some of you are probably playing challenging, but look at our times. These are first clears, 12 minutes. That's Hunter's Fury. First clear, 11 minutes, Hunter's Fury. So these are all subpar, right? And then Camp White Oak, first clear, 10 minutes. We beat it by 4 minutes. That's amazing. That's a long one, right? But again, we were overpowered, way overpowered. So Manny National Zoo just has more circumstances where the enemies are coming out of different doors. And it's got wide open space, more wide open spaces, more. And so Camp White Oak kind of feels like, you might think it's got a lot of wide open spaces, but it's actually not. It's kind of more of like a gauntlet. It's outdoors, but it's a gauntlet. So you can really keep them better contained. And so Manny National Zoo, look, I got 20 minutes and 26 seconds. So I need to shave 2 minutes and 26 seconds. And I'm overpowered with negotiators. I'm overpowered with strikers. And I'm overpowered with Hunter's Fury. How do we fix that problem as a solo player? Question of the day. But you guys have some great ideas, so keep them coming. Bighorn's not a bad idea. 4-piece Hunters with Chain Killer and Bighorn. Chain Killer and Bighorn. That's kind of fun. I did find that headshots made you slow down a little bit, but with the Bighorn, you'd be overpowered. So I'm thinking about that. Like, I feel like you don't need to go for headshots. They die so fast on the chest. You know what I mean? Like, you know, and so going for headshots would just make it even slower. Not a bad idea, though. Swap chain wouldn't be a bad idea either. Actually, if you did swap chain and put it on versatile, because the swap chain, this little guy can reach amazing distances when you switch to it. Amazing distances. So well that I have run the 8x scope with it because it handles so well, if you notice that, which is crazy. You're like, Tux, you're crazy. Yup. Okay, so anyways, we're going to figure out that problem. But while I have you, I promised you guys that we were going to check out Cassie Mendoza because she's got a really good vendor reset, guys. She really does. So I got some good build ideas and recommended buys. So we're going to head over there while I chat it up with you guys. So let's turn up the beat. I hope you guys are having fun. So you guys completing these challenges primarily in group or solo? Hold on a second. Let me get this chat going. Curious to know how many of you doing these challenges in group. Or are you doing both? These leagues in group. And then also let me know, since the season started, how many shade levels have you gone up? You can tell. The easiest way to tell is by going to your season rewards track and looking there on how many what level of the rewards track you're at. Level 20, level 25. Totally curious to see how well you guys are grinding, what the pace is for you. Paul, you've been running them solo? Cool. Yeah, thanks, Xander, for the reminder. Xander says, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe now. Also, if you love this game and you don't want to see, and it doesn't have to, you can join us as we find new ways to milk every inch out of this game possible, in more exciting ways than ever before. So right now, my objective is just to show you how to clear these leagues in the standard way. Okay. Oh, let me turn up the gameplay. But as soon as I clear these, which I did technically, so starting today, this evening, and I will be live streaming on Twitch this evening, I'm going to be sorry, let me get by these guys real quick because I'm not sure where I'm going exactly. I'm going to be live streaming on Twitch this evening around 3 o'clock, so I invite you to join me over there. If you're not following me on Twitch, please think about doing so. There's links dropping in the chat feed by the bot, but also you can go to the description area in this live stream as well. So let's see what the huggers are doing. Okay, we got a good little hug fest going on. So it's been a rough day, so if you need a good hug, just come here. These people who non-stop hug. All right. Are you guys ready to check out some good gear? Let's see what we got. So scalpel is crap. I'm just gonna say it. Okay, so this is not, you know, when it comes to Tux's hot or not list, this is not on the hot list. So Montel, you're running group and solo, good for you. So the Punch Drunk, this is a recommended buy. Buy this item, okay? So the reason why it's a recommended buy is because it already has armor regen on it. And so what I recommend you do is you buy this and you change the core attribute into more armor. Okay, that makes this, that's gonna give you 20% headshot damage, also 20% pistol damage, which is a great mask, but it makes it really good for your tank builds. So if you run like the Liberty, right, pistol, or even your Regulus build, you know, if you want to try different versions of that, but also if you run the TDI card with the deflector shield, then you can also put a skill tier on here if you wanted to, or armor. I'd probably go armor. But like, in all those cases, that makes this really good for shield builds, basically. I mean, you could also use it without a shield build, but it makes it really good for a shield build. So I'm actually gonna buy this item, so totally recommend you do this. So I would, builds to think about are like my Captain America build. I would definitely look at that one with this Punch Drunk. Also, what's the other one? The aggressive tank build, which is similar, but it uses Foundry Bulwark. So anyways, lots of build options there. Check this one out. So I'm going to come up with something new for us using these. Skill efficiency gives you everything. I'm not sure what the original question is, but skill efficiency gives you skill haste, skill duration, skill damage, skill repair, status effects, and I'm probably missing skill health. Probably missing something, but yeah, everything. So shield splinter, it's a crappy one, so don't buy this one. The hunter killer chest is pretty interesting. So it's got skill damage and status effects. That's pretty interesting. Okay, so I'm thinking, I don't know, but this could be interesting with maybe like the Scorpio shotgun, you know, coming up with something with this, like really, we're talking really off meta. So I'm thinking like you could put the, I'm gonna actually buy this because it's just really out there. So you got double status effects, right? So Golden gives you 10% status effects, and then you got another 8.5%. And then I don't know what I would do, roll the armor into a skill tier, but I'm gonna buy it. It's odd enough where it makes it like kind of interesting enough to play with, you know what I mean? So I'm thinking like maybe the Scorpio build for the status effects, and maybe you throw on the Vile mask and then just kind of have fun. I don't know though. I don't know what else I'm gonna do with it yet, but it's interesting enough that I would say I recommend you buy this if you're an off meta guy, and we can see what we can do with it. So we got a hardwire, tip of spear, crap. It's always been crap. Aces with hazard, crap. Hardwired, crap. Aces with crit chance. I mean, if you need aces knee pads, these aren't bad. I'd roll headshot damage there, but I usually run the Sawyer's knee pads with my 3-piece aces, so I'm not gonna buy that. Hunter's Fury with armor regen. I don't recommend armor regen with Hunter's Fury because you have a lot of armor on kill, so just go that way. Negotiators with repair skills, not really worth it. You need the crits. So AUG, no. Urban MDR, no. If you need, if you like off meta repair skills builds, this could be interesting. Okay. Because you got skill haste and repair skills on a Hannah U, so that makes a good healer build. The truth is that on healer builds, the best in slot are the BTSU gloves. You almost want to run them guaranteed on your healer build. So that you can overcharge people's skills, also refresh hives. So, you know, it's the fact that this is a glove makes it kind of a not recommended buy, but just giving you some ideas there. Yeah, no, totally, Scorp. Yeah, good call. Actually, that's a really good call, Dispatch, yeah. Bellstone. So this is the piece that I really wanted to talk about it. So this is definitely on the recommended buy list. Buy this piece. Now, it doesn't seem that rare or unusual, but it's actually got pretty high stats. And so what I recommend you do, this is such a good piece, guys. You can do so many things with this piece. So many things. Buy this piece and then don't re-roll your attributes, okay? So don't spend your re-roll on your crit chance. Don't spend your re-roll on your crit damage. What you want to do is re-roll the core attribute. You're not in this piece for the armor. I mean, you can be, but you're not. Okay, I might even have my actual piece. We're gonna probably have to go to the White House so I can show you what we can do with this. But see this piece here? Let me equip that piece. Let me equip that piece I just bought. Okay, so this is the one we just bought. This is what I'm talking about here. This is a version of that, okay? So see how I turned Bellstone into an all red, or almost all red, with the red core and crit damage and armor regen, right? Look at this Bellstone that's yellow, armor regen, skill damage, and a skill tier. So look at this one that is all red right here. So this one's technically better, so I actually don't need this now I think about it. But look at how many of these I have that are all red, right? These all red Bellstones. And so with this one, you can put a skill tier there and it'll be nice for slaughter, right? Crit damage, crit chance slaughter version, right? So you can do that. Or you can put a weapon damage one here, and this is really good. So do you guys remember that chameleon build that has all red cores? A 6 red core chameleon build, and then I ran the memento, which has given us the 1 armor core that we need. And so this is amazing when you run these all red Bellstone pieces. So this is giving you that. And the reason why you want red Bellstone pieces is because I've pulled you guys and you've told me that your most comfortable and preferred armor place is around about 1.1 million, right? That's 2 armor cores. And so if you run like the memento backpack with 2 Bellstone, you can be over armored at 1.3, which you're like, oh, that's not bad. But what you're doing is you're taking away from your DPS, because with memento trophies, like if you're at 6 red cores, as soon as you grab a memento trophy, you're gonna get 30% weapon damage boost, right? So you want as many red cores as possible, because that's massive amounts of damage bonus. So that's why you want the red cores. And 1.1 million armor is enough to give you a healthy amount of bonus armor to go along with it, right? And armor regen. So if you run 2-piece Bellstone and a memento, you're gonna be at 1.3 million armor. But if you have one of those Bellstones all red, like your holster, then you're gonna drop to 1.1 million armor, which is the place that you want to be, the more preferred place. Or drop all the way down and go 6 red cores, 1 memento with backpack with 1 blue core, which is gonna put you at 900 something thousand armor. So definitely buy this and then re-roll it, the core attribute, and optimize the rest. Okay, so re-roll the core, and so it'll also make a really good skill build too. So let me show you what I'm talking about. So you can turn it into a piece like this. See this improvised piece where I got skill tier and max crits? Really good for the capacitor. And so by doing it with the Bellstone, you're also getting armor on kill when you run 2 pieces that look just like this, but they're Bellstone. So that's what I mean. You can use it for a skill build. So that's basically like slaughter. Let me see. I should have slaughter here. So here's a slaughter build. So, I don't have all my pieces for slaughter, but it's like this. So what I'm suggesting is that instead of armor regen and skill damage, you can run a skill tier with double crits and then make the rest of your slaughter match that. And so it'd be balancing out your slaughter build. Now this is not a true slaughter because I don't have all my pieces on my character, so it didn't transfer the gloves and the mask, but I hope that demonstrates the point, at least, by you can see the 2 pieces of Bellstone. And so, yeah, so anyways, amazing piece. So I recommend you buy that one. Again, let's look back at Cassie. So the top buys are going to be the Punch Drunk Mask, okay? And then Roll Armor, and that's good for a tank build, really good tank build. And I got a lot of Punch Drunks, but I don't have that one, so that's why I bought it. And then this Bellstone, and you're going to re-roll the core attribute. Everything else is kind of blah in here. So, except for the Golem. I'd say buy the Golem. It is going to be off meta, and I don't know what to do with it yet. But it's interesting enough to see if I can turn this into a skill build. It's just that skill builds aren't that great with Intimidate because you're going to have to run some armor with it. But if you run the Memento backpack, it sort of makes sense if you have enough armor to keep that Intimidate proc. So then you get a skill tier and armor. So anyways, we'll see what we can do with this. So I bought it. I will see. But definitely get the Punch Drunk and that Bellstone if you don't already have something like this for your holster. Cool. Does that sound good, guys? Let me just make sure that I have answered most of your questions before we move on. Okay, let's see what Carlos says. So Glass Cannon, Wyvern with skill damage and skill haste on every piece. 2-piece Empress, Hannah Yu, and the backpack at Ghost of Go Back. Oh, you want Ghost of, interesting. Mechanical Animal, oh, really interesting. And Exotic Shotgun, and then Sync. And sometimes in sync, so I'm guessing you're switching there. That sounds like a really good build, bud. Yeah, Danger Dave, I hear you. So Danger Dave says too many cutscenes and running in the open. Yeah, it's a challenge. Yeah, that's why the question is, how many people have actually done sub 18 solo? You know, I know I can do it in a group, but I do want to accomplish it solo. You know what I mean? So, Xander, that's your challenge for tonight. Awesome, man. I'm gonna try to do so. And then tomorrow, look forward to some challenges. But also, guys, just a quick reminder to follow me on Twitch. I will be twitching later this afternoon, probably in about 3 hours, 4 hours. So join me over there. Follow me over there. There's links in the feed. So also in the description area, but I appreciate that. If you're willing to subscribe to me on Twitch, I'd really appreciate that. We're trying to get Twitch as big as we are over here on YouTube. So also remember, I dropped that build today. So if you didn't see that build from this morning, then check that one out. Actually, let me grab you a link here. So it is a build recap. So I give you 2 builds. One of them is a max armor on kill at 80%. And then another one is at 40%. And so I actually created 4 max armor on kill build variations. And I felt like these 2 were the best. I felt like when it comes to max armor on kill, you either want to go all in on max armor on kill at 80%, or the next best place was at 40%, but everything in between was kind of like meh. You know, it didn't really like add any major advantage. So it was either at 80% or 40%. And anything in between was just vanilla, I guess is the best way to describe it. Cool. Hey boys, so I appreciate you guys, all you loyal banditos. So I will see you in a few hours. I will be streaming in 4 hours. I will be streaming on Twitch, and I will catch you on that side. Peace, guys. Peace, peace, peace.
Tuxedo out.